An extract from Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. The 192nd Western Hall. Entry for the 20th day of the 6th month in the year the albatross came to the southwestern halls. Having completed the previous entry in my journal, I entered the 192nd Western Hall. Dark and cold enveloped me. A little way in, I estimate about 20 meters, I turned to face the single door that aligned perfectly with a window in the corridor outside. I sat down and wrapped myself in my blanket. At first, I was acutely conscious of the darkness at my back and the stares of the unknown statues. It was very quiet. The hall where I usually sleep, the third northern hall, is full of birds, and at night I hear the sounds as they shift and flutter on their perches. But far as I could tell, there were no birds in the 192nd Western Hall. They apparently found it as unsettling as I did. I made myself focus on the one thing familiar to me, the sound of the sea in the lower halls, the water lapping the walls in 1,000 chambers. It is a sound that accompanies me all my days. I fall asleep to it every night, just as a child might fall asleep, safe on its mother's breast, listening to her heartbeat. And indeed, this is what must have happened now, because the next thing I knew was that I was waking suddenly out of sleep. A full moon stood in the center of the single doorway, flooding the hall with light. The statues on the walls were all posed as if they had just turned to face the doorway, their marble eyes fixed on the moon. They were different from the statues in the other halls. They were not isolated individuals, but the representation of a crowd. Here were two with their arms about each other. Here one had his hand on the shoulder of the one in front, the better to pull himself forward to see the moon. Here a child held on to its father's hand. There was even a dog that, having no interest in the moon, stood on its hind legs, its front paws on its master's chest, pleading for attention. The rear wall was a mass of statues, not nearly arranged in tiers, but a jumbled, chaotic crowd. Foremost among them was a young man who stood bathed in the moonlight, elation on his face, a banner in his hand. I almost forgot to breathe. For a moment I had an inkling of what it might be like if instead of two people in the world, there were thousands.